Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Married to Medicine, Season 10, Episode 4.
Listen here, before we get into that, I want y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment. Are you enjoying the Married to Medicine season so far? This is my favorite reality TV show after Love and Marriage Huntsville. If y'all haven't, subscribe to that show too. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's good.
Are you enjoying it, Blair?
Oh, absolutely. I love Married to Medicine. It's been so good.
Yes. And congrats to them for making it to 10 seasons. 10 seasons. We thought we wasn't going to get another one, but we got it. You ready to walk us through it, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Well, we start with Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie. They are at Phaedra's house.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of funny because Phaedra asked them to take their shoes off, and Dr. Jackie said, well, you got some slippers for me?
I'm about to say,
socks?
you got some socks?
You got a dog running around here.
Shoes is meant to be on the feet.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
So Phaedra,
I'm not hating on her for that, though.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Phaedra, when she goes to get the slippers, they're, taking a look at the house and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie's not saying much, but Heavenly is saying, it's nice, but it's different. So Phaedra gets the shoes, and then they go into the kitchen, and they start to chatting and, getting their salad, because that's what Dr. Jackie be eating.
Yeah, Jackie be a little shady.
Yeah.
Because Jackie said she's a minimalist.
Yeah.
So she looks around and she just says, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Continue.
Yeah. Well, Jackie straight up asked, why did you bring Quad to that girl's party?
Come on now.
Phaedra said, well, y'all were asking about her. So Jackie said, look, Quad, Phaedra was saying, y'all ask about her. That's y'all friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, y'all should have been happy to see her. And Jackie was like, we'll use friend loosely. Quad isn't available unless it works for her.
Mm-hmm.
She'll call you back within 6 to 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Phaedra says, things got intense,
Mm-hmm.
and Quad changed the atmosphere. Heavenly says, we all know Phaedra is full of ish.
Okay. Listen, Heavenly said, she know that I know that she know that I know.
Uh-huh.
She's full of it.
Uh-huh.
What did you think about Phaedra's response to that?
She did a good job. I feel like she skirted around it as much as she could. I mean, it was a great TV moment, and I think Phaedra knew it would be. So I think that was more so the push to have Quad come there.
Yeah.
I think that was going to be like a bomb drop.
Now, I'm going to be jumping in and out of what we see on TV and what we seen on the real time because I watched the show after the show.
Okay.
And things like that. Quad said she showed up because it's her job.
Fair. They was filming.
Is it?
She worked for the show.
We film other show. We film other days too, Quad.
Yeah.
Now, my thing is, which has actually surprised me. Are you kind of surprised that Jackie kind of have a passive problem with Quad? Because Jackie's usually known to not really have a problem out loud. She basically said, "Let's use that friend loosely." Now that's a lot for Jackie.
Yeah, because usually she don't speak on anything.
Mm-hmm.
Not really. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's why Jackie and Heavenly are friends. I think Jackie's kind of mean too.
Oh, dude, you
Just
think Jackie's mean?
Yeah, but she's just quiet with it. But I don't think Jackie is just a sweet, quiet lady. I think that she just be keeping her crazy thoughts to herself. Because I'm like, who else would be friends with Heavenly?
I mean, I would be friends with her. Heavenly is funny. I like Heavenly. You know what I'm saying?
But Heavenly is, to me, she's afraid to nobody. She talks trash about everybody. Quad says, stop saying I'm sleeping with people's husbands.
She's equal.
And Heavenly, the first episode, she said she probably sleeping with your husband.
Mm-hmm.
It is funny, sure, but I'm just like, who could really be friends with her the way she goes in on her friends?
She's an equal opportunist in my eyes.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah. Well, Heavenly asked, do y'all think T is ready to be married?
Mm-hmm.
Phaedra says she's overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And Jackie says, when I'm upset, I speak in syllables. And Heavenly says, but Curtis isn't getting as mad as you. She says, Dr. G is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have two crazy people in a household.
Okay, you kind of lost me there a little bit.
Okay. Well.
Can you do that part all over again?
All right. Heavenly says, do y'all think T is ready to be married?
Okay.
Phaedra says, well, I think she's just overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie says, yeah, because when I get upset, I get to speak it in syllables. And Heavenly says, well, she had that outburst, and that's a little bit concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And, with you, Jackie, when you're having your upset moments, Curtis probably brings you down and makes you calm. Dr. G is crazy. He will meet T where she's at. And you cannot have two crazy people in a household. And she hopes that T knows what she's getting into.
Look, my whole thing is, do you think, Blair, that they're ready to be married?
No, I don't think so.
My thing is, who am I to say?
But just because you ain't ready don't mean you shouldn't do it.
Okay, that's
some people get ready.
Yeah, maybe. With me, I'm just like, y'all not really in their life like that. Like, so basically, their opinion about things, and the fact that they only have these opinions, by the way, because I'm saying this to defend them, based off of what lateasha have shown.
Yeah.
She have shown some instability in her own emotions.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? If she was more confident and more calm, that's a good word.
Yeah.
People wouldn't feel like, hey, I don't think you're ready. You get what I'm saying? Because probably you're overwhelmed planning a wedding. It's probably overwhelming just being married to Dr. Gregory.
Yeah. So
that overwhelming feeling, that rush where you feel like the waves is about to take over you, that's probably don't stop with Dr. G.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
From what we've seen.
Yeah. You know, one of my favorite scenes, they showed it throughout the season. They showed it through this episode, rather, when they was going through some little counseling with their friend, and Dr. G put his hand on Quad's leg, and she said, "Get your hands off me." And he was like, "What?" And then he started acting like he was having like a seizure on the ground.
Yes.
That's overwhelming. Okay?
That is overwhelming.
That is who he is.
Yeah.
But I'm happy Dr. G is back. Continue.
Yeah. Well, Cecil and Miles at first are in the kitchen talking.
Yeah.
Miles been getting C's.
He's seen his way through college, as Dr. Simone would say.
Yes. And Miles is like, look, the textbooks just aren't very conducive to learning.
Okay.
And Dr. Simone comes down and she's like, well, I need the plan. What's going on?
Oh, my gosh.
And Miles says that he's planning on graduating next year in May.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells him, look, we're only going to foot the bill for your life for one more year.
That's crazy. Not school.
Yeah, he was like, for just school? Or she's like, for everything. You got 1 year. And she says, look, the goal is for him to step into manhood. But the dad has been allowing him to take baby steps and to drag his feet.
Uh-huh. Do you know what's crazy about that? I actually like this scene a lot. Dr. Simone, low-key, is my favorite character on the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She has a way. I love her laugh. It's
infectious.
Yes,
yeah.
I love her laugh. Right. You kind of can see the different ways of parenting in this scene. If I was to take it deep, she wants a graduation. She said, "When am I gonna go to a graduation?"
Yep.
Mind you, this is a doctor. You know what I'm saying? Education is the way. And Cecil, he's like, he gave the advice of maybe you could take a semester off or whatever.
Or not take classes during the summer.
And not take classes in the summer.
So you could get this experience.
And do some experiencing.
Yeah.
And Simone like, I ain't with that.
Yeah.
Because you could have did that year 1, 2, 3. You get what I'm saying? Now we on 4, 5.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, we try to get you done at this point.
Yes. and the fact that Simone is basically saying, look, man, I'm trying to see a graduation, and you're my oldest. I think there's something to being the oldest of the family.
Yeah.
When it comes between the siblings, is because that person solidifies, and that was the one who made it the family.
Right.
It was just Simone and Cecil, right? So we need some type of, gratification that we did a good job.
Yeah, return on our investment.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
You're our first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he do good. But my whole thing is I don't really know what he want to do in film. YouTube been around forever, and a lot of these people who do YouTube videos, who got big YouTube platforms, they tell us all the time going to school for filming is a waste of money. So I hope he breaks into it. Matter of fact, I hope he has a YouTube channel.
Exactly. I hope he's doing something now.
Yeah.
Talking about he need to get experience. He could be getting his own experience.
You should have got a camera a long time ago.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Continue.
Well, Simone says she's ready to retire.
Yeah.
And Cecil is asking, why are people against generational wealth?
Stop it, Cecil.
Simone says she want to run around butt naked in her house.
I see you.
And sleep with her husband. And Miles says, you come in here out of work and go straight to bed. Ain't nothing happening in this house.
Listen here, it doesn't matter. I just don't want you in the house. Look, there's something too. Simone is not an entrepreneur in that right in her main career. She may do some things on the side, but she's like, look, when it comes to my job, my 9 to 5 or my 9 to 9 or my 9 to 11 job, I'm trying to retire from this.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? To where I don't have to worry about you. I ain't got to worry about your little brother. I ain't got to worry about I'm trying to get out of this game.
Yep.
And I understand what Cecil is saying, because sometimes when you come from a place to where you didn't have a lot, you want to give your children a lot. That's why he said generational wealth, to where he's like, look, don't move out until you're ready. The real world is tough. Right? But I think Simone is tougher. Simone is not going to make living with her very easy on you. You know what I'm saying? I think you got to figure something out, man. All hopes to you. Prayers to you, though.
Yeah. Also, Simone, I remember she touched on the fact that Cecil stayed at home until he couldn't stay at home no more.
Yeah.
So to me, it sounded like he stayed at home until he got married.
Yeah, that's basically what happened.
Yeah. And so I was just thinking, like, Cecil needs to have Simone's back on this a little bit, because I mean, I agree with the fact of let your kids, save up money, take their time, do whatever they need to do. If you're progressing, it sounds like the oldest has been a little bit stagnant for a while.
Yeah.
And he's in school, and now he's talking about he's going to take some time, not going to school to do some other things. Like, no, we're progressing. Like, everything's cool, everything's kosher as long as you're progressing. You over here talking about taking time so you don't have to graduate as soon as you can, then that's where we have a problem.
We sent you to Howard, you didn't do nothing there.
Yeah.
We brought you back. Okay.
You took a year off.
We gave you a year off. And my thing is with Cecil, and guess what? That could be fair, but guess what? The world is different than it was back then. And Simone is definitely a different parent.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Especially with someone, she said, I didn't bring him home a C.
Yep.
I'm a doctor. You get what I'm saying? I have to know what I know,
Yeah.
So hopefully everything works out with them. Continue.
Yep. Moving on, we have T and Dr. G talking about their parties.
Yeah.
Dr. G says it was a blur, and T says she feels away because Quad showed up.
Okay, you should.
She says that she's stressed. She's trying to hold it together. They're getting married tomorrow, and she was really thrown off by the wedding planner, Johnny, talking about the extra $14,000 they have to pay.
Yeah.
G says, he expected things to go smoothly, but they aren't. He trusted things with the experts as far as the wedding planner, and they got him jammed up for another $14,000. But he said he's going to give her the wedding she deserves and the ones that she wants.
I ain't going to hold you, Dr. G. I think they robbed you, brother.
Yeah.
I never heard of a wedding being the next day or things of that nature, and then, you have to pay another $14,000.
Yeah, something about that was weird to me.
I don't want to say, you know what I mean? I think he had a black wedding planner. I'm not going to go there. But I went there a little bit. I ain't going to go all the way down the road. But I'm just like, another $13,000, $14,000. For one, you calling me that night, that's not professional.
Yeah.
Number two.
Well, Candy fired him. He used to work for Candy. Yeah.
I don't want to say, why are you taking me down the road? I don't want to go down that road.
I ain't trying to say nothing bad about the guy either, but I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, send me an email contract. What do you mean? Do I just give you a $14,000 off of hearsay?
Exactly.
I heard they need $14,000 more. Oh, man, no. I'll be like, that's not how things get to me. That's not how you get $14,000 out of me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But Lateasha, yeah. Y'all not paying for this wedding. Dr. G is paying for this wedding. And I like the fact that Dr. G said that he's going to give her the wedding that he feels like that she deserves. And that's the headspace he's basically staying in. No guy wants to lose that much money in one day.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But he said, I'm just going to stay in that headspace. And that really been helping me. So I respect Dr. G for that.
Yeah. Well, we move on to the wedding rehearsal.
Yes.
And Dr. G calls Phaedra, and he asks her, why did you bring Quad to her event?
Mm-hmm.
Phaedra says, I just want everything to be good with the ladies on our side of things. I want her to know Quad doesn't have any issues with her, and there shouldn't be any insecurities when it comes to Quad.
Okay.
Dr. G says, there is no reason for these two ladies to have a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to be building no bridges for them to get to each other.
Mm-hmm.
G says, Phaedra, you need to be looking out for Sweet Tea, and don't let this happen again. And she's like, well, the party already happened, so it ain't gonna happen.
I'm about to say that.
So
y'all have to understand.
Whatever.
Y'all have to understand what Phaedra was brought to this cast to do. Even though this is our favorite show, one of our favorite shows, the ratings have been plummeting season by season. Phaedra has been brought there to bring the drama.
Yeah.
To bring the excitement. You know what I'm saying? No, nobody on that cast would have thought to bring Quad.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, like, Phaedra, thank you for bringing the entertainment.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But I agree 100% with Dr. G. Like, come on now. Like, because this don't affect y'all. This affects me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Continue.
Yeah. Well, we are 4 hours until the wedding, and they are doing their finishing touches.
Yeah.
T is in her dressing room with her bridesmaids.
Stop there for a second. I want to go back to the rehearsal.
Okay.
I don't want to go to the wedding day yet.
All right.
It was at that point that she disclosed to us the age difference between her family and things like that. And even in the rehearsal, I saw the father, they going to the rehearsal, they walking down the aisle. The father said, what we gonna do? You gonna give me a handshake, and then I'm gonna give it off. And did you see kind of how he was looking at like the father?
No.
This was kind of before we actually knew the numbers and things of that nature. When Dr. G was looking at Sweet T father, I was like, oh, he don't like Sweet T father.
Okay.
I saw it in his eyes. Like, he comes off as if, like, you're doing too much. You get what I'm saying? But that was before we actually found out that, like, oh, Dr. G is actually older than her parents.
Yeah.
By 5 years.
Or her mom. We don't know about that.
By mom, 5 years. I give her that. Right? And then on top of that, she says something during the rehearsal, during the confessionals, to where she said she always dated older men. I'm like, that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Because she's only 32, 33. So you always dating older men. That makes me look at you very suspicious, Lateasha. What did you think about that information that she shared with us during that time?
I feel like I need to talk about what I got to talk about because I go deeper into it.
Go ahead.
But pretty much her mom, she was saying that her mom was the one who Dr. Greg asked for her hand in marriage.
Okay.
So I did find it to be a little bit odd because her mom wasn't feeling the age difference, even though T was saying I've been dating these older men this whole time.
That's nasty.
So that's a little bit strange to me. And then the fact that he didn't go to her dad. I don't know what her relationship is with her dad, but he was at the wedding. He was at the rehearsal. So that also makes me wonder, why didn't he go to the dad? But she said the dad was fine with it because G's providing and that's all he cared about. He probably also cared that he didn't have to pay for the wedding. So.
And then he said, make sure you go on the golf course with him.
Yeah.
That's cold. That's cold language. Because, country club, there's a certain type of social status you have. There's a certain type of money you make to be on those golf courses all the time.
Yeah.
The father just comes off as if it's just he comes off as if he's in it for the money too. Like
he hit a lick. That's how he come off. Yeah.
And then she even said something like, it's like back in the day where you bring a calf or something like that and you exchange it for as if you're buying the daughter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Sweet T, your examples do not make you look good at all in any of these situations.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. Well, moving on, that was pretty much what we talked about. It was during when they were doing their finishing touches as well for the wedding.
Yeah.
So Eugene, he is just happy that G found somebody. Toya said that G and Quad didn't have sex for 3 years, and it's good that he's no longer stuck. Toya really do not like Quad.
No.
But rightfully so, because Quad was trying to say she broke into Anila's house and that she was sleeping with the neighbors and all this type of stuff. Quad was doing a lot last season. But Heavenly and Dr. Damon are on their way. Dr. Damon is glad that they're going to be able to make it to the wedding. The wedding is the same day as Alora's prom, so they went ahead and saw her off, and now they're off to the wedding. Heavenly said that she texted T saying, everything's all over today. You can finally relax, but she never got a response.
No.
As everyone arrives, Dr. Jackie is there first, and she lets us know Curtis is in the DR.
Curtis, why are you never there?
Again, working on a project. And then we see the ladies come in. They sit down. We also see Dr. Contessa, Dr. Scott. They, make nice and say hey to everybody. Phaedra gets there. She tells us that the program reminds her of a funeral program. And then we have Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon arrive. Their name is not on the list. So apparently, T told Johnny, the wedding planner, to take Heavenly's name off the list because, during the party, the maid of honor was there while Heavenly was doing all this big talking about how T ain't ready and how their marriage not going to last. So she took her off. And I agree. You got all this stuff to say about my wedding and my marriage. You're not going to sit up here and watch me take my vows.
I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly.
Oh. Why?
Because Heavenly wasn't the one that brought Quad to your bachelorette party. Number two,
there was a lot of people who could have been left off the list if it was me.
And my whole thing is, how do Phaedra is there, but Heavenly is not. Also, the jump outside the show, Heavenly is one of the main reasons why she's on the show.
Yeah, Quad. Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about Quad. I'm talking about
Phaedra.
Lateasha.
Hey, Heavenly is the reason why T's on the show?
Yes.
How?
She is one of the reasons why she's on the show. We heard that on Watch This Live or something like that.
Watch What Happens Live?
Yes. Lateasha is one of the people. Heavenly is one of the main factors that got Lateasha on the show. Quad was not happy about that.
Oh, okay.
So my whole thing is, you're biting the hand that fed you.
That's what I'm saying. Why you want to be friends with Heavenly? She doing stuff like this.
Okay.
Jackie's evil too.
That doesn't support the fact. My whole point is, if you're not going to invite Heavenly, why is Phaedra on the list? That makes no sense to me.
That's true.
That literally makes no sense. And then she says something like, and she go, no, not to mess with me. Now you pick the fight with Heavenly. Now you're really about to lose. I told you that I don't think you're ready for the show, and now it's about to be proven that you're not ready for the show. Heavenly about to get into you in ways that I don't think you ever experienced in your life on national TV. On national TV. Everybody thought they can go against Heavenly. Everybody did. Everybody had the same haze to where they go through Contessa. Shout out to Contessa. We saw her cameo. She was there with Scott. But my whole thing is, everybody think they could go against Heavenly.
Yeah, Heavenly was calling her Code Tessa for the longest.
And at the end of the day, guess what? Contessa's not on the show.
Okay.
Heavenly is. And she's one of the main castmates on the show. She ain't going nowhere. As much as we don't like Heavenly, well, I'm not going to say we. As much as Blair wouldn't want to be friends with someone like Heavenly, Heavenly is the reason why we are tuned in. And now you biting the hand that feeds you. And now she's about to rag dog you now.
Ooh.
She is.
Uh-huh.
She is. Continue.
Yeah. Well, Heavenly, so Johnny the wedding planner comes out and he confirms that they were taken off the list.
Okay.
And the wedding is starting. And Heavenly and Dr. Damon end up coming in anyway.
You might as well.
Yeah. So apparently, I heard some backstory on that. So apparently, Phaedra got them their minister. And so Phaedra was like, if Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon don't come in, then I'm taking the minister out.
How did she do that if the minister's paid for?
And he's already standing up there.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
I don't know. I guess that was her homeboy. Anyway, so everybody's trying to figure out, oh, we wonder what Quad's doing. Quad's at home pampering herself, having a good evening.
I ain't wonder what Quad was doing.
Yeah. Well, they're having a great time, dancing the night away. Heavenly hugs T on the dance floor, and T tells Heavenly, I'm mad at you. Pretty much, get up off me, eat your food, sit down, and leave me alone. And Heavenly over here, you know how she do her laugh, talking about like, oh, like, I didn't do nothing, like, And T's just like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Be careful. Judas was one of Jesus' disciples too, okay? And Heavenly would laugh and put her arm around you and be like, I ain't do nothing to you. Listen here. Heavenly about to get into you.
Yeah.
I've seen 10 seasons of the show. Heavenly is going to get into you, and we already seen how you act with your own sister.
Yeah.
I don't think you're emotionally ready to handle what's about to happen to you the next 10 episodes, what's about to happen. Also, do you think Quad should still be on the show? I'm asking you that, Blair.
Yes, mostly just because I'm interested to see the dynamic, how that works this season with T and
talk about drama and stuff
and
like
G.
that?
Yeah. But overall, no. I mean, as I think Mariah had said, you're not married to medicine, my love. So what are we doing here? So, but she's still a full-time cast member. She could be a friend of, which would be make even more sense. But I mean, I like Quad, so let her stay.
I like Miss Quad too.
Yeah.
And I know we're gonna get one of those Miss Quad speeches soon.
Yeah.
But that's what people was asking. They said, should she even be on the show? Should Phaedra even be on the show?
No.
Because people like, that is the real wild card right there. We don't know who. We don't even know if she with somebody, or we haven't even seen the guy.
Now we got a man with an emoji on his face.
You get what I'm saying? So, but my whole thing is to give my soliloquy about Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea, you rubbed me wrong this episode about how 25 years older, 25-year difference between y'all two, 5 years older than your mom. We keep getting clips about you talking about getting to the money, about him being a provider and things like that. And your father's excited, telling you to be on these golf courses. I am not a believer in your intentions.
Yeah.
You seem kind of, what's the word? Oblivious to what you're really getting yourself into. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully my mind would change. I was on your side, warning you in the first 4 episodes, but I'm completely off you. I think I was off you when like you had your temper tantrum. But I don't think you're ready for this. I don't think you're ready for the storm that's about to come your way. And her name is Dr. Heatherly.
Yeah.
I don't think and then on top of that, you got Phaedra over here talking about I'm gonna take my minister back. like people at your wedding pulling rank.
Yeah.
This is your wedding and people like, hey, look, Dr. Heatherly is the star of the show. We need her on the show. Did anything you thought about the show, about this episode, Blair, that you want to share?
I was just happy with T. I felt like she stood her grounds. I wish that she would have stood it a little harder.
Talking about getting people names off the list and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When it came to holding Phaedra accountable for, like, why are you bringing this lady to my event? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think Phaedra, Heavenly, sorry, Dr. David, but you got to account for this as your wife, and Dr. David should have been left off the list.
Wow.
And
you're really on that. You were like, they should really been off the list.
Because that's really disrespectful for somebody. And this is her real wedding. Even though it's on TV, this is really her wedding. So, yeah, I thought they should have been left off the list. But I also feel like T, if that's the stance you make, you need to be able to stand on it. Don't get uncomfortable when you're in the hot seat and people talking trash and all this type of stuff. Be like, I did what I did because y'all blanks are disrespectful. So hold tight. It's a ride. It's a ride coming.
But this is not a hot seat that's going to stop soon. Like, she's on the hot seat even when Watch What Happened Live after that. Uh-huh. It was all about Sweet Tea after. About how she can't dress, about all these things, about how ignorant she is and things like that, of how she don't really know anything. She's in the hot seat in real time.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like it's not even about the show hazing. There's something about her, something that she gives off to these castmates that they don't really bang with her. And I think it's just the age difference. I think it starts off with the age difference. I think if she was the came in, you know how some people be like 30 something, but they really act mature, and things like that. She didn't come in with nothing, and they kind of see her as a child with the temper tantrums. Yeah. So they just be like, "Oh, you're really trying to catch a lick because you don't really have no censor with like things you say out your mouth. Like it's all about the money. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's all they kept saying about what Andy's. and guess what, Andy, you're in it too, because Andy was throwing lobs and for them to slam up. So it's like, I think Sweet Tea, I think the season after this, you will find your footing and you'll be a lot better. But I think this is what happens when you're the first season when it's your first season on the show and things like that. The only people that really should have been at that wedding was Simone and Cecil. Really, honestly. Yeah. That they should have been the only people out there because
that's who they really knew and hung out with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like those are the only people.
And Simone really was the only one who actually supported her.
Exactly.
I feel like Toya did. She was trying to get to know her, but even T with Toya, I felt like she was a little bit too defensive with Toya. Toya was really trying to be nice.
Yeah. So good luck, Sweet Tea, because it's about to get rocky for you. Anything else?
That's it.
Y'all be good.
Bye.